Hi there, I'm April Sawtelle and welcome to my channel. I've been waiting to get to this point for a long time. I've been working on this and I am going to do a big reveal of what's behind this curtain. Ta-da! I'm getting ready to put together 10 I Spy quilts. I will take you step by step at how this all came together. Today is a really big day for me. I'm going to be able to sew all of my squares together. I've been waiting for some pictures to come in that are going to be the centers of these I Spy quilts. They came. I'm going to be able to work on them. I am going to be framing them out through the process as well. I started out with 4.5-inch squares. I sewed 3 together in rows of 3 to come up with a 9 patch. Each quilt is going to finish at about 84 by 94, so they're pretty big. I'm making 10 quilts, so each quilt's going to use 504 4.5-inch squares. I'm going to sew them into 9 patches. Quilt's going to use 56 9 patches. So I've done that. Now, the first 8 quilts are going to be identical. These are all over here. I've got 2 that are not identical. So I've got 2 stacks over here. My daughter got this fabric at Martin's, and I think she got most all of it there. And this is what she's brought to me. I've already cut this one up, but she's got all sorts of things in here. And every one of them is going to have the same fabrics in it. Little airplanes. These little characters are, but they're cute. Bananas, Spider-Man, all sorts of nails and washers. That's going to be a fun one to put in there. Helicopters, cars. I love this shoe one. Puppies. Ooh, that one she feels like she's got a big amount of. Care Bears. That one feels pretty big too. This looks like some flash fabric. It was $6.99 a yard for what she got, and she was getting most everything in a half a yard. She started out getting 1/4 of a yard, but then they said she had to get half-yard pieces. I'm going to cut 4.5-inch squares. So I have 6 shirts here. Now, how long did it take me, you ask? Well, I just so happen to have the number. It took me about an hour and a half total. So it did take a little bit of time. But you know what? I saved 6 shirts from going to the trash bin. And I've got a bag of scraps to work with. It's the fitted twin sheet. And I'm going to use this. I'm just going to fold it in half and fold it in half. And I'm just going to start cutting this up. Where I'm at so far, and I'm just cutting and cutting, and I'm just going to keep on going until I have all the pieces. Every time I go through my fabric, I find more and more novelty fabric. I keep buying it and I keep finding it. This quilt is going to have a huge, huge variety. These were just some fabrics I had cut up. Gosh, did I? Oh my goodness. No, these are fabrics that I could still cut, and more novelty fabrics I could put into my quilts, and I never did cut them up. Oh dear, I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know. There's some that I did use down there that need to just get put away. Oh lordy. I have this whole bunch that I came up with too downstairs. Here's a few more pieces I just came up with. I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed at the moment. I know exactly how they're going to be. I need 4.5-inch squares, which again, you've seen I've got them. I've got a pretty good handle on that. I'm going to lay 9 blocks on my display boards here. All right, so I got, all right, darks and then lights. Okay, I'm going to call that good. I like having both bananas, and I'm going to put them in this order. 1, this will be on the top, because that's the top of the 9 patch. And then I'll just stack them like this. And I'm going to leave those right here beside, to my right. So this one is going to go over here to my left and just sit there. So when I'm reaching for these, I'm going to grab these two, these two, these two, chain piece them, and then I'm going to come back over here and add these to them. I always like to work from top to bottom. I always work from my right to my left, and then I line it up. Also know that from my top to the bottom, so that way it always stays in this order. I'm just going to do the easiest way for me. There's lots of different methods. I really like this ruler to trim this down because I can see this orange. I really love my new Creative Grid 12.5 inch, and it's got this frosted side, but unfortunately I can't see that very well when I want to trim this down to this 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and use this Fiskars ruler because I can see this orange very good. So I'm going to lay this on here. I'm going to trim all of these down to 12 inches. So all I'm doing is looking at my fabric and I'm trying to pick a line here, just something to kind of go on. And I'm going to just start trimming them all down. Just want to make sure I'm clear on all sides so that I have something to cut off. I need everything within this orange mark here and here. And I'm just going to start trimming away. I'll do 2 sides and then I'm just going to flip my fabric around. Where my orange is, I can just line this up on both sides here. 1 straight line down, 1 straight line down. Now, just making sure that my orange is outside of my fabric. And now that's a nice 12-inch block. I'm going to do that to all of these blocks. If you ever find that you can't stay within the marks here inside of your orange and it won't bring you to an edge, just fudge it over a little bit just to try to keep it so you can. So like right here, you can see my innermost piece here. I don't want to come out any further than that or that won't be able to be square. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to look over here to see if everything will be cleared. This is not going to be cleared right here. I have to fudge this over a smidge. Okay, now I can see I'll have a clear here where I can trim everything down straight, and I'll be straight right here. And I just have these 2 sides to trim. This is what I've been waiting for. Let's open this up. This is a tapestry that my daughter bought. I'm going to be able to cut it out and put a frame in it so it equals a 12-inch block, just like the other ones. All I did was I just cut the print out and then I just framed them all in their favorite color. 6 of those are going to have pictures. All I want to do today is get the rows sewn. Because I'm working with so many quilts at the same time, I really have to be careful how I lay everything out. I don't really have my order yet. I'm just going to start sewing and I just need to keep my piles separated. A lot of this will go in fast motion, so just sit back and enjoy. All right, let's get started. We're going to press all these and get these ones trimmed. These ones are ready to go. Let's do this. It might help you if you're working with a lot of pieces to label each pile. I can see that where they are in front of me, and I know that they're in the order. So I'm just going to lay this out, and I'm going to make sure that the prints are facing me. I'm going to lay the second one down, and I want to, when I open it, I want to make sure the prints are facing me. So I'm going to do right sides together. I'm going to nest my seams right here. So I want one seam going that way and one seam going this way. I'm going to hold that together, put it under my presser foot. I'm going to follow my presser foot right here on the edge. That'll give me the 1/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to sew all the way down. So again, I've got a seam going this direction, a seam going that direction, and they are meeting up right here in the center. And you're going to hold your finger right there. And you're just going to follow your 1/4 of an inch, and you're going to sew right down. All right, so then when you open this up, those will be matching. You're going to add your third 9 patch. Same thing, I'm going to make sure everything is facing me. Nest my seams. Again, one seam is going toward me, one seam is going away from me, and those are nesting right there. I'm not going to pin for this. If you wanted to, you could pin. It's just going to be a lot of pinning. I have a lot of quilts to get through here. And I'm just going to sew a 1/4 of an inch, stop at that seam, nest these 2 seams, making sure they line up the best you can. It's okay if they don't. This quilt is so busy, it's okay if they don't. You will see it. And you're just going to sew down. Very easy to get out of order, so you just want to make sure everything is lined up really good for you. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 9 patches. I'll add my 4th one, and you're just going to continue to do this all the way through. The only thing I'm looking for here is not to have 2 squares touching each other. All right, and then you keep doing this until you do an entire row. There's 16 rows here now. I've got those ready to assemble, and I'm going to move on to the next step. Now I'm going to sew 8 rows together. I'm going to start putting right sides together now. I want most of the novelty prints to be going in one direction. That's how I planned it. I'm going to try to stick to it. They may get turned around, and I know some were turned around in the blocks themselves. That's okay. Most of them will be facing the same direction. I'm going to line these up, and I'm going to start sewing at a 1/4 of an inch all the way down. The one that's on the top here is going to be row 1. I'll put a tag in that when I'm all done. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line this up, and with my presser foot at a 1/4 of an inch, I'm going to give it a back stitch at the beginning and end of each row. And I'm just going to sew all the way down, and I'm going to match the seams as best I can. I know they're going to be off a little bit, and that's going to be okay because this quilt is so busy, it's not going to matter. So I'm just going to be sewing right straight through. This is getting really big, and I'm only on row 6. I'm going to take a break for a minute. I'm going to clean my machine out, and I'm going to give it a little bit of oil. I keep wiping it out occasionally, but I just realized I haven't given it any oil for quite a while. As far as the lint goes inside, it wasn't too bad, but definitely needs oil. I'm back, and I'm binding the one that I'm keeping for myself, and this is going to be referred to as the red quilt. I made this little label for the back. It's not really little, it's a big label, but I'll put that on the back of this quilt, and I've done that to all of the other quilts as well. Okay, well that's it for today. 10 quilts down. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Remember to keep it simple. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye. Say bye, little Miss Ready Thready.